Hi guys, and welcome to the FireButton Podcast. I'm Steve.
I'm H. Or Harry. I'm Harry now, aren't I?
Yes.
I'm sure I said that last time.
You did.
Oh.
I'm Merk.
And I'm Jay.
Are you still medicated, Merk?
I am very medicated, Merk.
Alright, well, we'll start with our usual topical segment of what have we been playing? Jesus, did no one really get into that? Okay.
I thought you were going to save from the last one and just, splice it in.
I suppose I could.
Alright.
Okay, so guys. What have we been playing?
I've been playing Minecraft. Lots and lots of Minecraft. Because we've finally got the update that everyone else has had for about 2 years. And I made a new world, and I'm like, yes, there are going to be lots of carrots in this one. I called it Carrotopia. No fucking carrots anywhere.
Sod's law.
There is no villagers to trade for carrots. There is no carrots in chests in strongholds. There are no fucking carrots.
No, and we've been all over this map. All over the surface, and no villages or anything.
We've probably got 50% of underground covered as well.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so no fucking carrots. So I had to resort to being a filthy cheater and resorting to Deus Ex Carrotus.
Creative mode.
Yeah, pretty much. So I wasn't taking the piss, though. You know, I had one carrot, and then I thought, ooh, potato. Because there are no potatoes either. And then I thought, ooh, melon. Because there are no melons either. So I had one of each, and then I went back off onto survival mode, and now I've grown my own damn carrots.
So,
Cats are annoying.
isn't that like introducing foreign vegetables into another country kind of thing?
You have wrecked your 8-bit ecosystem.
Yeah.
8-bit?
I don't care, because carrots...
I don't know!
You show me an 8-bit machine that could run like Minecraft with several fucking million voxels on screen at once.
Spoiler warning, I'm shit at graphics.
Okay.
It's a good job we got a topic coming up about game graphics then.
Yay!
Hey, what have you been playing?
Michael.
Daigo.
Daigo.
Just Daigo. That challenge has been doing my head in. I've become at the point yesterday where I'm consistently within a gnat's knacker of doing it, but not able to.
Okay,
You have come on though, really well.
So for the audience who don't know what a Daigo is, in Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, in the Evolution tournament, there's on the internet...
it's called Evo Moment 37.
On the internet, you can find from the Evolution fighting game tournament, you can find Evo Moment number 37. The Beast is Unleashed, is it?
Yeah.
And it's basically an iconic fight. It wasn't a final fight. It was a
Losers bracket
between Justin Wong and Daigo Yumehara. And the thing is, Justin Wong he's been annoying everybody with this Chun-Li, and Daigo he's basically almost defeated. And what he does is he parries the entirety of Chun-Li's super and launches into a combo, which basically wins the game. Yeah, wins that match. And although it wasn't the finalists, it was the most thrilling moment of that particular tournament. And it's made its way into the Xbox Live Arcade version of Street Fighter 3.
Any of the HD re-releases have it as a challenge.
Well, yeah, the HD re-releases, it's got it as a challenge.
So for reference, Mike has been trying to do all the parries of Chun-Li's super.
Yeah, it's the combo at the end. I can't crack it.
Well, to be fair, it's been on the Facebook page, the progress of his...
Do you have to do the combo at the end to pull the achievement off?
You have to do the entire thing. You have to, from the start of the super, you have to parry the entire super, jump up in the air to parry the last hit, and do the exact combo that Daigo did.
Oh, I thought you just had to parry that shit.
No, there's two separate challenges for it. There is just the combo on its own, and then there is the full Daigo.
Yeah, the fourth thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, it's parrying the super, which is 7 hits of parry, a pause, 7 hits of parry, jump, parry the last hit on the way down, then I think it's a kick, I'm not sure whether it's a medium, crouching medium kick, Hadouken into Shinjuku, blah 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 blah, kick move.
It's you parry the 7 hits, slight pause, parry 7 hits, jump up, parry the last hit, you've got a brief pause, you do a strong kick just before you hit the ground, straight into a crouching medium kick, then a medium shoryuken, and the Shippu Jinrai-Kaku.
Oh, it's a shoryuken. Gotcha.
That's why it's a ball ache, because I keep any time that I manage to pull off the Shoryuken, I don't get the super in time. You have to do the super before Ken leaves the ground.
That is evil.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the sort of advanced combo timings are.
Speaking of evil, what's Jay been playing?
I've been playing Ghosts and Goblins.
You bastard!
Because I didn't do anything for Halloween. I was showing my game at GameCity. More on that. But, yeah. So I thought, like, after the fact, fuck it, I'm going to play some Ghosts and Goblins because it's spooky. And the game is... It's the I want to be the guy of its day, you know. Real masochist platforming. And... I fucking love it. I'm not, like, kidding here. The game is evil. It's consistently in people's top 10 hardest games lists.
Deservedly so, really.
Yeah, deservedly so, because it's an absolute beast, but I love it. You know, I can get up to the last level on one life, and then lose them all.
You've been trying to do that for how many years? About 6 years now? I remember... Back at uni, I've known Jay for a long time. I remember back at uni, you just starting to try and get the hang of it, and you consistently not getting past the first 5 minutes of the first level.
Yeah, I wasn't able to beat the first level for about a month.
Look how far you've come.
I know.
I'm so proud of you.
Just to top it off, you've got this thing where you try and do it in one credit as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I refuse to continue, which is why I've not beaten it yet. When I run out of my 3 lives, or, 4 or 5 if I earn extras, that's it. I start over. You know, there's no continuing for me. We've got this 1 credit arcade honor system going on.
Couldn't you, put 50p's aside, and then every time you credit, you have to give that 50p to Harry to do whatever he likes with?
I like this idea.
I don't.
Basically, you pay for your continues like you would an arcade.
The internet gaming of bank.
Yeah. Well, it's like a swear jar, something like that, to save money.
Don't introduce swear jars into our games. I'm skint enough as it is.
FireButton would be fucking fucked if we had a swear jar.
Yeah.
When I first completed Sonic Heroes, that would have been a fucking mortgage.
Yeah. So I suppose I'll round it out. I've been playing Resi 4 when I've not been editing. Mainly just because I needed something cheesy to chill out to. It is really, like, the 80s action movie of video games.
And he has fabulous hair.
And he still has fabulous hair. And for a GameCube game, it still looks very fucking pretty. But we'll get into that later. So I suppose, should we segue into our next topic of the day?
Which was that one?
Self-reflection on GameCity.
Oh, yeah. So all our videos are up from, what we checked out at GameCity. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm glad we went. It was a shame that we didn't get to go the whole week, but I think we would have been absolutely creamed if we did.
Out of 8 days in total, that's one Saturday to the next, I was there in some capacity for 5 of those days, and absolutely knackering. 4 of those were with FireButton. 1 was showing near-Earth objects. That was the worst. It's completely different being on the opposite side of the table, so to speak.
Yeah, at least you can get these, really awkward yellow guys coming at you with a camera going, "Oh, you want to tell us about your game?" Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that's how half of the people in the videos basically prelude. They say, "Can we show your video game on our channel?"
Hey, but we did ask permission, people, we didn't video people if they didn't want to.
Yeah, that's true.
We did
Courtesy.
shit legit.
Sorry.
We do shit legit. We use proper toilet paper, not leaves.
Yeah, and credit where credit's due, the sort of descriptions to each of the GameCity videos have where we could find them, links to the Twitter or websites or whatever of the developers.
Yeah, well, the only thing we left off was mobile phone numbers. We figured it'd be only cautious.
Yeah, well, you don't really want to be putting phone numbers on the internet where any random sod can,
Exactly.
be a nuisance.
Alright then, well,
GameCity, good.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I only went for 1 day, but I enjoyed it.
We got to do it again next year.
Yes. It's kind of just, even if it just becomes a routine thing, it's a nice event to cover, the people are friendly, it's an interesting thing, and there's challenges, and hopefully this time Jay won't miss the Super Hexagon tournament and represent...
I didn't. I caught Super Hexagon later. In fact, when I was showing near-Earth objects, it was on at noon. So, I was able to catch it then.
Yeah, but no video proof.
No video proof. No.
Overall, what kind of games do you think was your standout game for GameCity then?
My standout game for GameCity. Oh gosh. There are so many, I can't really decide. Off the top of my head, is it Spectral, where you're like a little orb and you can sort of phase through walls to make puzzles?
Yeah,
That was pretty cool. I really liked that one.
that was courtesy Fire Punch Games.
FireButton Games.
We couldn't have FireButton, that title was already taken.
There's another one. It's been such a blur.
Which one was it?
I'm trying to think.
Not the name, describe it.
I can't remember. There's so many awesome ones. Just check out the videos. There's like lots of awesome ones. I'm sure I mentioned it on one of the videos.
Well, yeah, to be fair, we are getting you a newsman for Fedora for next time.
I
Because you're like...
already have a Fedora, have you know?
Well, I know, you're like press journalist interview guy.
I'll get you a ticket to put in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a FireButton logo on a card.
Oh, yeah, actually, yeah. But, you know, with the sort of the press guy thing, I kind of have experience doing, like, radio presenting, and they let me loose with a microphone and that broadcasted live to radio, so there you go. But, yeah, I off the top of my head, then, Spectral, because I would get some pretty crazy fun puzzle game stuff going on.
See, I only went for one day, but the two standout games for me on that day probably would have been Super Sword Shield, which looked like a bit of a reaction Ghouls and Ghosts on Rails.
Kinda, yeah.
Ish, and Zero Gravity Deathmatch, which I kept blowing myself up with the fucking bomb, but it was very fun
Zero
to play.
Gravity Deathmatch was excellent. I think that, Super Sword Shield, and Vectagon, which was a Super Hexagon I like.
I just remembered another one that I really liked, but I can't remember the name because I don't think anyone was there to tell us the name at the time. It was like a space jousting thing. It was like 2D, pixels.
Yeah, I could be wrong. That game, I think, was called Space Joust.
It was called, well, if it
You're on
was.
about the one that's in day 3, where you play it with 3
No,
other
it's the
players.
last day. It's the last
Yeah, it's the
day.
last
No, that's what I mean, sorry, recording part 3.
Yeah,
video
yeah,
3.
yeah.
Yeah, it's Space Joust.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Sorry, carry on. I just remembered that one.
I have no idea what I was saying.
Sorry.
Well, you were on about Super Vectagon.
Oh yeah, it was just a Super Hexagon style thing. I think
Yeah, but from-
I had almost finished my sentence.
It was the, it's slightly different in that it's from, you're always from facing one perspective as opposed to moving a cursor though. You have to
Yeah,
rotate
yeah,
the
it's
entire
sort of
thing
like
to
a
survive.
first-person Super Hexagon, and the movement is stepped, as in you always occupy the entirety of one side of the polygon, triangle, square, pentagon, whatever, instead of Super Hexagon's more sort of fine-tuned movement, which can get a bit twitchy.
Yeah. I mean, for what it's worth, it reminded me, just that particular way and the way it was done reminded me of Zone Mode on Wipeout HD. I don't know why.
Yeah.
That's what it evoked
No,
to me.
I guess, because when you get up to the higher speeds on zone mode, it can become quite sort of hypnotic and...
Twitch reflexy stuff.
yeah, very twitchy.
How about you, Mike?
I can't remember the name of it to save my life, but I was only there for one day, so I didn't play many. But it was the Oculus Rift one.
Glitch Space.
That's the one.
The one where you program the elements to sort of resize and get past bits.
Yeah, it's like a first-person platformer that you use in-game tools to quote-unquote hack and create your platforms and your puzzle solutions.
First-person platform puzzler with coding.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the guy,
Alright.
the chap in the interview, he basically said it was on the lines of trying to teach coding, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, teaching it visually teaching design language and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it looked cool. The only problem is he had some kind of bug involving constantly turning to the left.
Yeah, it had a camera desync glitch where the screen was further off to the side than it should be, so when you're playing with the Oculus Rift, you sort of had to keep gradually turning your head left.
I mean, don't get me wrong, even though Mike was slowly becoming the girl from The Exorcist, he still didn't want to put the game down. It was that fun to play. So,
Yeah.
iron that bug out and it's pretty much sorted.
Well, yeah,
isn't it?
that's the thing. At GameCity, a lot of the games were early versions. Some of them were making tweaks overnight to sort of show the improved version the next day. Which actually sort of surprised me. I might do that next time. I took a pretty much finished game there. But the input might have actually helped me out with the game in development.
I was surprised by how many Oculus Rifts and things were there. There was a lot of higher
I
end.
actually didn't know Oculus
conceptual
Rift
tech.
was available in the UK.
I'm not 100% sure on it, but I think it's like a development thing. You sign up and you can basically provide information feedback.
So you
something
kind
like
of
that.
like, sort of like
Testers.
testers for
Yeah.
oh, that's cool.
I think. Don't quote me on it. I could be entirely wrong.
I think I just burped on the podcast, excuse me.
It's alright, we had fireworks going on the last banter, so it's all good.
That wasn't fireworks, that was war!
It's alright, we've got fireworks now. But, simmered down a bit outside.
Moving swiftly on, I believe we're now going to cover graphics.
Uh-oh.
Oh, this is the big one, isn't it?
Yeah, this week's a big topic. So we throw around topics, and some of them we will cover, some of them we won't. Lists seem to be keep coming up in the suggestions, requests from people. And so we like to keep it down to, like, top threes. And the best graphics we've seen in the game.
No, not best. Favourite.
Yes. We can't
because
be objective
best is
here.
subjective. Someone finds.
Objective. Best is objective, but, our favourites.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want to lead the way then?
Yeah. I've got three. One of my choices people may agree with, the other two maybe not. People ask me what my favourite graphics in a game is, and usually my first answer is Asteroids.
Yes. Sorry. I'm total agreement because I've played that on an actual vector.
You look at Asteroids, it's
table.
just like wireframe drawings of rocks that barely look like rocks, and a ship that's like a triangle, and the shots are just dots. But the thing is, I always ask people, how would you improve this, really? For what it does, the functionality of the graphics, how could you improve it? Colour wouldn't do anything, because the contrast, the shapes stand out between each other. More detail would just sort of muddy it up. Literally, it's sort of, from a functional perspective, one of the best designed visually games that are out there, and it's like one of the very first, 1979.
And on an actual arcade cabinet, that is a thing of beauty.
Yeah. Another thing of beauty, the second favourite choice would be Yoshi's Island on the Super NES.
Yes! I know that one.
I always describe it as looking like the most talented 4-year-old in the world was given a magic crayon and just let loose. And it does look like that. It's charming, and everything's all sort of scribbly, but not messy. It all looks really good. And
It looks neat.
Kinda.
Oh, sorry.
That was lame.
Yeah, it was. But the music's awesome, the gameplay's awesome.
Yeah,
and
Yoshi's
the
Island
graphics are
is
fantastic.
it's all charming, and the visual style lends itself to that. Third choice, and this is a more contemporary one, would be Mirror's Edge. Because that's like you gave a high-end graphic designer just a game. Here, make a game, and they're like, okay, so we're gonna play with white space and red, and that's it. But there's a little bit more to it than that. But I think Mirror's Edge is a really good-looking game, and actually, to my mind, a lot more realistic than a lot that try to be realistic. Mirror's Edge, I really felt that like I was there more than in some like brown and grey gun shooter thing. And it really made me feel like I was part of a world, and that's kind of important.
Okay. Well, I have no real no real criteria for best graphics in gaming, but the first ones that jump into my head are let's say at number one, I'm going to go with the fact that it's one of the few games where I've just stopped and gone, oh man, that is damn pretty. Is Borderlands 2. Some of the sweeping vistas and the actual graphic style. It really is very pretty, and the use of colour is very nice in the shapes. And I think it's the Unreal Engine it uses.
Did they try and make that look like it was drawn like comic pages?
Yeah, it originally started out looking more. The original Borderlands, if you go back far enough, it looks more like Rage. Looks more akin to that. Realistic-ish textures, and they're all pink and grey. And then they basically halfway through development thought, fuck that, and went for a more cartoonish and so it's animated comic book style, and it works very well.
From what I gather, it was in development for quite a while, and then they saw Rage. Rage came out, and they're like, shit, this is just what we're making.
Borderlands predates Rage.
Yeah, that's what I'm on about. They saw Rage sort of, screenshots.
I see what you mean, yeah. In-depth.
And, they saw the way Rage looked, and I know it was a late in development choice that they made, and they basically thought, shit, we've got to be different from this somehow. I mean, Rage had the benefit of being id Software. It would sell because it's id Software, the guys that made Doom. Borderlands back then, Gearbox. Who the fuck are Gearbox?
They had like Brothers in Arms, which is basically a modernish, rather a World War era historical shooters thing, and
for all intents and purposes,
a few expansions for Half-Life.
For all intents and purposes, at that point, Gearbox were just like a big indie developer, weren't they?
Again,
as much as like Raven Software, maybe.
I refer you to, they were pretty much who the fuck is Gearbox. So, going toe-to-toe against id Software with Rage was not a good idea. I think the very best thing they did was that graphical change for Borderlands.
Another one is, sticking to modern games, probably going to be Brutal Legend. Because the entire levels and the design of the game is basically, let's take heavy metal covers and turn it into a, fantasy land.
Lies.
What do you mean, lie?
I mean, lies. The whole point of Brutal Legend was basically let's take real-time strategy and hide it in a hack and slash.
Yeah. No, but I mean the design aspects of it literally was like a...
I've only seen bits of Brutal Legend. I have not played it myself, but I kind of liked at the time how... Because a lot of games are all like serious and trying to be realistic. I like how Brutal Legend went for like the absolute outrageous caricature kind of look.
No, I don't know. Jack Black was basically portraying himself.
Well, yeah, but all the others as well. All the like things you would see, shapes you'd see primarily in caricature drawings, and that was something that you didn't really see a lot of then.
Yeah, I don't know what I'd pick for number 3.
I think you've already picked 3.
No, that was number 2.
Okay.
I'm gonna just duck out and say I'll come back later, and then point the finger at Mike.
I thought you were just going to say Resident Evil. 4.
I was waiting for
Resident
Resident
4.
Evil.
No, Resident Evil may be many things, but pretty. No, I wouldn't say so.
Okay.
Harry?
Right, well, I have been racking my brains, and I've come up with 3 different things. I am so annoyed that Jay got to Asteroids first, but oh well. So, 3 of my favourite kind of graphic styles. One of them, in no particular order, Rayman Legends, and to a lesser extent Rayman Origins. I like the sort of like the rubbery sort of drawing style, especially as well with Rayman Legends, where it's all kind of like digital painting, but it's kind of messy with it. I really like that, and it's a style that I like in digital painting. When not in games, so to see it in a game form or moving was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Another one is Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Ooh.
Yeah, because that is a damn good looking game. The thing that actually got me into playing it was I saw Jay playing it one day, and I'm like, what is this? Because all the pixel work is just I'm
thinking a lot of that's the Rondo of Blood stuff, just remastered and repurposed.
A lot of the sprites, enemy sprites, but level art,
backgrounds
and stuff. The backgrounds they were pretty much all new.
Even though it's 2D pixels, you feel like you could just wander around that castle. There's a great feeling of depth to it, and that game is a work of art, I think. So yeah, it's mostly the graphics that got me interested in playing that in the first place, because it is a very pretty game. And the third one, because I really don't really know, but I would have to say there's no particular game, but because it's my favourite game of the series, Myst 3. Because to this day I've still not seen any video game that looks quite like a Myst game does. They're all a bit surreal and fantastical. Like, again, there are places I just want to wander around because of how it looks, and it just looks so otherworldly.
Remind me to throw you onto later end Zork games, because they're very similar.
Alright, I'll hold you to that.
They're a little bit more whimsical, though.
I'll hold you to that. But yeah, I've still never seen another game yet like that look like the Myst games. And I think one of the reasons that make it even more surreal and thus pretty awesome graphical style is that all of the Myst games, except the last one, have live action actors in these CGI sort of environments. And that makes it even more surreal, and yet at the same time even more like you could just wander around these places. I mean, I still haven't played the last Myst game yet because I still haven't completed the one before, and I don't want to
spoil it.
Yeah, I don't want to go through the last game without finishing the previous game first. But that's the first and only game of the Myst series where they've got CGI characters instead of live action actors. And no, it just looks wrong. It just looks like every other game. So, but then I've not really played much of it, so I don't know. So yeah, those are my 3.
Okay. I have actually thought of a number 3, and it's a cop-out one, but it is damn fucking relevant. Super Metroid. Because every area is unique and different and gives off its own, biological feeling.
No, I'm down with that.
I actually agree, yeah.
I'm down with that. Super Metroid is a game you can get lost in, literally lost in the world
Yeah, and it's vibrant. The enemies are diverse by area, or I suppose that's a modern thing, isn't it? You know, you have themed areas with fucking ice enemies, lava enemies, car showroom enemies, chocolate enemies. But the point is, the planet had a breathing ecosystem that you could look at.
Yeah.
You know, it was like Richard Attenborough with an arm cannon. Well, not quite, but you get the point. But anyway, yeah. Retreating back and pointing at Michael, what are your top 3 pretty games?
See, this is a concept that usually escapes me because, in all honesty, I don't particularly pay attention to graphics.
Do you know how long it took me to think of my 3?
I
Because
know.
I'm exactly the same.
I've been trying to think of my 3 since Jay started talking about his first. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't play games for the graphics. So I'm not too good at that on a start.
But what games
And
do you
then-
play that the look of them just really makes you go stop and think, wow, that's actually pretty cool looking?
I don't know,
If
it's
any.
like, I keep getting mixed up between graphics and game design. It's like, I would say Arkham Asylum, but in hindsight to that, the graphics, yeah, they're good, but I wouldn't particularly say they're as stand out as the environment designs and stuff like that.
Well, that still counts, dude.
Yeah, and
If that still counts,
everything
yeah,
that
right.
you look at, everything that's there to see is graphics.
Yeah.
It still counts. I'd say Arkham Asylum, it's a good choice, but one of the problems with that is most of it's obscured by the fact that you're in Batman vision most of the time, detective vision.
I deliberately turn that off.
get-
That's why it takes me so long to complete the Batman games, because it's like, yeah, I'm not playing Batman and the Argonauts. Just fucking...
Batman the Argonauts.
If I'm in a fight, the first thing I do is press LB to turn that fucking skeleton mode off.
Same.
But then,
Have you ever played a game and literally just stopped to admire how fucking pretty it's all laid out?
I think Tomb Raider got me with that. The newest one.
Reboot.
The reboot, yeah.
The Tomb Raider reboot, because that was
Adam
sort of...
somewhere's going Trez effects. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like, I didn't particularly enjoy the game, but there were quite a few things where, it was a good thing and a bad thing, because you'd look out somewhere and you'd be like, this looks like a fucking amazing place to explore. And then it just turned out there weren't a lot to it. And like,
Finding machine gun parts in an
Yeah.
ancient tomb.
it's like having a gigantic swimming pool and it's got 2 inches of water in it. But then the third one, this actually ties into one that I don't like. I've been going on about it a lot. Street Fighter 3. Gameplay-wise, it's my favourite Street Fighter. And the design-wise, I like it, because it's like... I like the design on it, and it's sort of it's not as, for lack of a better word, overdone as the Street Fighter 2 HD remix. That was a bit too anime. But that links into, I really don't like the art design for Street Fighter 4.
Oh, blasphemy.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm with you there. Yeah, it's the same reason I can't get into 4 more.
Four's the
And-
one with the faces, right?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
It-
That's amazing!
I like the faces, but the character design just looks weird.
So
Yeah.
FireButton's going to be divided on that, because Harry and myself, we do actually like... I think Street Fighter 4 is a great...
To be honest with you, the animation in the faces and stuff, you pull off an ultra and you see your opponent's face and they're pulling the daftest face possible. That's
Yeah.
great, but the actual character models themselves and the way that the hits look and connect kind of do my head in personally. I mean, it's the same reason I didn't really take to Marvel vs. Capcom 3 more than I did, although they did make Ryu's sprite or character model or whatever a lot less annoying to look at. I don't know. Sorry,
No,
I'm
on Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, you win a fight as Ryu, and he does look like he's pretty satisfied after a dump.
awesome.
If we're just talking about how Ryu looks, then Ryu always looked weird to me. It's not down
It
to
looks
the
like a
game
10-year-old
style.
in the Street Fighter Alpha games.
Well, it's like they've taken a 12-year-old's head and put it on, a muscly bodybuilder.
Yeah.
I think I just don't like Street Fighter when it goes 3D.
Oh no, what is it? Is it Zero? No, Zero was the other name for Alpha. What was the name? One that was 3D.
The EX series.
Ah, right.
See, when Street Fighter 4 came out and they got screenshots of this 3D thing, before it came out, and having played the EX series, I was really suspicious of that. It's a wonder I actually got Street Fighter 4 and got into it and liked it, because I still had a very sour taste in my mouth from the EX games. Terrible.
Well, I guess that's all there is to that.
Yeah.
So, as always, if you want to send us any requests for topics to cover on our podcast, we do read them. We do decide whether they're worth our time or not. I apologise if that sounds offensive. Sometimes they're a bit crap. But
Yeah,
we do
like-
appreciate the feedback.
Top 10 video game penguins. Who was asking for that? I
You
can't
did.
even think of. Yeah. All right.
So I've been Steve.
I've been Jay.
I've been there.
He's been Mike.
Medicated. I've been Harry.
This has been FireButton. We'll see you next week.
Right.